because I had the nightmare. I wrote some notes down, started typing all one night, went back in the PC a couple of days later and thought, it had saved as a blank document. I'd lost a lot.
That should be. That should be recording. Should be looking back wind. You think it'd give you a little thing somewhere that was sort of saying, I'm recording. Well, it's saying pause recording, cancel and stop recording, so I'm going to assume it's recording. Right. So the first thing that I've sent you on your Facebook, a link to on your messenger bit, a link to a site called Flurn, where you can download a free action that's called frequency separation.
That's it.
Okay. Now, frequency separation, I've been using that for quite a while, but I've been doing it each time. But I found it made an action, just makes it a lot quicker. So I've sent you that, and I'll explain to you what it is as we're going along when we get to that point. If I forget, tell me.
Okay.
Right. All of these here are actions that either I've created or I've downloaded from various places for various things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got one there that's set up for putting like my logo on photos and things. All an action is like, if it's something you do a lot of, it automates it. You can record your own and whatever. All right, but that's what they are. So I'll go through that when we get there. Right. So there's our image, and what we're going to do is we're going to edit this up. I mean, if you look at it, it's a real good quality image, nice and sharp in the eyes. I'll zoom in way past 100. Oh, that's not 100. So if I do, if you press, if you zoom out and if you press Command and 1, it will zoom it to 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see your actual image as it is. Do you know what I mean? So, and again, if you look there, I've obviously taken that with my 2.8 lens. That's why it's really important to focus on the eyes.
Yes.
You can see the eyes are sharp, tip of the nose and the lips are blurry.
Yeah.
Which is what I was after. I'm fine with that because the eyes were the important thing. Right? Yeah. So again, what I do is look at it at 100%. First off, before I do anything, look at it at 100%. I mean, I'll tell you what's a good idea as well, is if you make a new layer above it, yeah?
Yeah.
Get your brush with whatever colour paint you want and get your brush nice and small, right? And what you can do is you can just set yourself an edit layer. So you think, right, I need to remember to, oops, let's make that a bit bigger.
Yeah.
You think, right, I need to sort that out. I need to sort that out. I want to take some of this dark out here. Her nostrils are uneven. I want to sort that out. I need to sort this smudgy lipstick out. Spots.
Yeah.
Put her ear in a bit. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So you can go around and sort of get rid of this bit of hair here. Volumise this out a bit. Do you know what I mean? So that's quite a handy thing. And then, so as you look at stuff, you can sort of think, right, well, I'll, you know, I know what I need to do now. Yeah?
Yeah, I would say you've got something to keep dropping back to.
That's it, yeah. I mean, I don't tend to do it a lot myself because I'll see it, but I'm just saying for you, it's quite a good idea.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
You know, as you see things, you think, oh, right. So with this, it's a nice image. That backdrop is one that I made myself at college. It's just a big piece of canvas, and I just splattered paint all over it. And then, as long as it's far enough beyond the model, it goes out of focus. But it's quite nice. I quite like it.
I was going to say that's similar. I think Lastolite or Manfrotto.
Yeah. Well, that's where I looked at it, and I thought, well, I ain't paying that much. I'll make my own.
That's really good.
But it's it works really well. It just makes a change from a boring old white or grey or brown or whatever background. Right. So we're going to say, right, we're going to edit this up for like mega, you know, sort of over edited almost. Do you know what I mean? For this sort of pristine magazine cover, so as if it's going on the front cover of Vogue. In fact, we'll do it as if we're doing a Vogue or a magazine cover for a fashion thing, you know, like a girls' magazine. Right, so first thing, as always, is even if it's a JPEG, I always open it in Camera Raw. So open it in the Camera Raw file. If it doesn't open, I think this is a JPEG actually. I think I've downloaded a JPEG. Anyway, zoom in a little bit. Right, so I'm not going to do anything with the colours and things. I'll do all that in Photoshop. All I want to do here is add a little bit of sharpening. Okay. And the levels. You know what we said about last week?
Yeah.
With the levels. So if you press Alt.
Alt, sorry. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and then you just touch it. You're looking at your whites and your blacks. So if I crank your whites up, can you see I'm going a long way up there?
Yeah, to pull
whites out. Yeah, to get to my white point. So where it was, it's saying there's no white in that image.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see there's not, because if you look up here, can you see the histogram?
Oh, the histogram, yeah.
Yeah, it's nowhere near this edge.
No.
All right. Now, as I move that slider, that white slider, if you watch the histogram, you'll see it move over to the right. So if I move that whites thing, you'll see that histogram. Can you see it?
Yeah, sliding across.
And as I start to get my whites, you'll find that's just touching the wall, just as my whites start to come in.
Stop. Yeah.
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 So I know that's my white point. So I've got a nice high key photograph. Now we do the same thing with the blacks. Well, you can see I've got some black down there. You're not going to get rid of that. The blacks, I tend to not use the thing so much because you're often going to have blacks. I mean, that bit there's got no digital information in. Okay, so that's okay. Yeah. We'll click. I should have saved the original. Oh, it'll be all right. Okay, so I haven't got my untweaked one. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna edit, undo camera raw. Okay, that's our original picture. I'm going to duplicate that because I want to be able to go back to it. I'm going to call that the original. Go on that filter, camera raw, whites, just there, click OK. Right, so that's got our, so we've done that, look. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. So now we've got that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think, right, if we say we're going to do like a magazine type cover, right, when I look at that image, apart from the bits of hair that I'm not happy with, all right, there's a few on the lips, and apart from all the tidying up, there's one humongous thing in there that looks bloody awful, and that's that sleeve. All right, now what it was she'd got like a loose necked sweatshirt on, and I got her to pull it off her shoulders. So the sweatshirt is just below there. Do you know what I mean? So it looks like she's naked from the top up, but she isn't. A sweatshirt's there.
Yeah.
But that's the sleeve of her sweatshirt. She didn't roll the other sleeve up. All right? So that looks bloody awful. Now we can mess a bit and change the colour of it and whatever. But first off is we'll have a look at playing with the crop. So if we bring that in, like that. Cropping's an art form. My students are terrified of cropping. So I quite like that.
I've got to say the same. It is one of those things where you get, well, I get nervous about how far, and I can see where your students are. But you know, people like yourselves, etc., have said you shouldn't be afraid to crop it.
No, I very rarely don't crop an image. I mean, what I try to do is when I shoot an image, is I deliberately shoot it with space around it, because then you've got time to move around and play with crops and things.
Yeah, if you're too tight in, you've got no adjustment left.
No, you've got nothing to play with. So if we have that about there, should look quite good. Right, so we'll have that as a crop. Right. So, first thing is zoom right in and get your spot healing brush. Right, it's all stuff we did last week. Right, and I like to... Have you got a tablet?
I have, yes.
Yeah, I've got this one, look.
Yeah, it's not as big as that. It's a,
No, that's the Wacom Pro. This is Andrew gave me this.
yeah, I think it's a Wacom, but it's the small one.
Yeah, that's fine as long as you got one and it does pressure sensitivity. Make sure you set it up right, because like, if I go in to brushes, yeah, you've got all this stuff here. If I click on Shape Dynamics, ooh, nothing's happening. Ooh, that's odd. That's because I've not got a brush, I've got that thing. Right.
Yeah.
Shape Dynamics. Alright. Where's the bloody thing gone? Oh, there we go. So can you see the controls off there? If I put pen pressure, I'll get this slider. And can you see the picture at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, I can change the diameter. So that's a pressure sensitivity. So if I get black paint, I'll make a, let me close that up. I'll make a new layer. Now, if I press hard, I get that. If I press soft, I get that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what you want. Right? You want to be able to use your pen pressure. It saves you keep changing the size of your brush. There's loads you can do in that brush palette that makes your life a lot easier. Right, so if I now get my, can you see now, I can just, like, if I press a little bit, I can just clean them bits up. If I press big, you know, you get
a large.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go around these little bits, you know, like I saw near the eye that I highlighted up. Let's say we're going for, like, Vogue magazine front cover thing here, so it's going to have to, it wants to be artificially sort of perfect.
I'm just going to say that's years of practice with that pen.
Yeah.
That's so annoying because you make it look a piece of piss.
It is a piece of piss. This is what I say, you see. He's like, what's his name? He paid me to edit some photos for him. Well, I mean, I can do one in, you know, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to charge much. So we'll go through here. Look, get rid of that. It's taking a minute to do it because I've got that thing rendering. So it's making my computer run a bit slow.
So, yeah.
So, okay, so I'm just taking these crap lines out.
And that's all from the spot healing tool.
That's all the spot healing.
Oh, no, it's content aware, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the spot healing.
Sometimes that can be...
yeah, you got... Yeah, what you want to do is if I go... Let's imagine there was something here. If I go from the edge in... Oh, it hasn't done it. It usually, like, that looks... You're always better to go outwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Towards the edge of the thing. Right, so I'm getting in here, get all this rubbish. There's a bit of something there, a little bit of something through there. I don't know how much of this fine detail you can see.
I can see all that you're pulling in.
Can you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm going up to that, but not hitting it. Because that's when it starts to go a bit funky. Can you see that's gone a bit weird there? That's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to have a couple of bites at it. That's it. Just make sure you get everything. Right, so.
That is annoyingly good.
Alright, so can you see we've got rid of loads of that rubbish?
Yeah.
And if we go up to a face, can you see a face already looks a lot cleaner?
Yeah.
Got rid of all them little imperfections. Okay, right. The next thing is we make a new layer. And we're going to do the soft light shadow removal under the eyes. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So we get a brush with white paint.
White.
Opacity right down to like 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And we change the blending mode to soft light.
Soft light. I think was it soft light or overlay?
Soft light or overlay. They both do similar, but I always use soft light.
Okay.
Usually, anyway. Right, and then again here, you want to go up to this and make sure your brush is soft.
Yeah.
Okay, and when I do this, I tend to turn the brush pressure off because otherwise you end up getting little thin lines. So just turn it off for the time being. You can leave that palette open. All right, now I'll just make the brush a bit bigger. And all I'm going to do is go in here and pull some of that out. Again, if you turn that on and off, you'll see the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all we're doing is just pulling a bit of that darkness out, the sort of tied eyes thing.
I did like you said last week. Do it 2 or 3 times when you get into the swing of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I always tell my students is that if I show you something, do it 3 times in a row, and 9 times out of 10 you'll remember. Right, so that's tidied that up a lot. Look.
Yeah, do it, bin it, do it, bin it.
That's it. So if I go from there to there, now you can see quite a big difference. Okay, let me zoom out. So can you see already that's looking quite clean?
Yeah.
Right, so, and again, although I've got a workflow, which I sort of reasonably rigidly stick to, I'll sort of jump a bit sometimes as to how I think. So I'm now looking at this thinking, right, well, I'll do a bit of liquefying. Okay, now, I sometimes use the liquefy tool and I sometimes do it a different way. I won't show you the different way because it's quite complicated. And 9 times out of 10, the ordinary way with the liquefy tool is okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So liquefy. Now, can you see the mistake I've made? I'm on the wrong layer.
Yes.
Can you see I've got this layer selected?
Yeah.
I need, well, that's on its own. That's just that shading, so that won't matter. It will. I'll need to merge them together. Otherwise, if I move the eyes on that layer, what I did on that layer won't move.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy with that anyway. So I'll merge just those layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've highlighted those 2 layers, go up to that little thing there and merge layers. Not flatten image or merge visible, just merge layers. And it will just merge those 2 that you've selected.
Together.
All right, so we're now there. All right,
Yeah.
so it's looking quite good so far. Now I can go into render. Render. There's me. That's because I've been doing lots of rendering with that. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh, liquid. I've lost the plot. It's been a long day. Come on. This might go slow. This might have a headache because this is very demanding as regards computer oomph. Right. So what I'm going to do, can you see that across there is a bit flat? I love all this. With Kira, she's got beautiful hair. Absolutely gorgeous hair. And I got her to do loads of stuff with her hair. I got dozens and dozens of beautiful photographs because her hair made really nice sort of Art Nouveau shapes. If you know what Art Nouveau is.
Yeah, there's some lovely colours in it as well.
Yeah.
In the hair.
Well, she keeps on about dyeing it. I said, don't you dare.
No.
Right, so that's a bit flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that up just to get a bit of shape into that back bit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull that out a little bit just to volumise that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and I might just bring that across a little bit and take that out there. Like that. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Right, so I'll okay that. So I've done a bit there. Can't see anything else I don't like. Well, I do, but I'll do it as a separate thing. So I'll okay that. Okay, so that's we've lost. So can you see we've done that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back on the background. We go back into liquefy. We'll do this as a separate thing. Come on, wake up. We'll zoom in now and get back to that.
Now, will this all be still on the same layer, won't it?
It goes on. I think you can set it up so it creates a new layer if you want to. So I'm just going to bring a nose in a little bit because it's not symmetrical. Look.
Yeah.
Can you see? But it is now.
Yeah.
If you see this where it says show backdrop.
Yeah.
If you click that, it will show you sort of a before and a after. So can you see a nose? Can you see how bad it looks now after I've done it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So can you see it's a lot more symmetrical? And that's what you want in a magazine thing. Okay, so that's that. I'm happy with everything else. I'll just do my eyebrow thing because I like that. That's just a thing. Okay, so we'll have a little move around. Right, if you look at her lips, can you see they're not quite even?
Yeah, marginally, isn't it?
Well, it's loads to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the top of the lip. You're on about centre, aren't you?
No, I'm on about the top of the lip. The shape of the top of the lip. This side's a bit smaller. I want it symmetrical. Okay, that's fine. So if we go, yeah?
Yeah.
See the lip?
Yeah.
Again, I can see it. Do you know what I mean? It's a matter of, I suppose it's training your eyes, I don't know. Right, and then this here, I don't like that. We'll sort that out a little bit. Okay. And I think I'll okay that, and we'll have a look and see where we're at. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll go back into Liquify. I've got one more bit I want to do for the time being, and that's, again, long necks are sexy. I don't like this lump thing here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull all this down. Can you see that's making the neck look longer?
Yeah.
And we're getting rid of that weird shape. Okay, I might just take a jaw in a little bit. Again, it doesn't matter. If it's editorial type thing for a magazine, it doesn't matter if it don't end up looking like her.
Yeah.
Because that's the trouble. Girls look at these magazines and the people in the magazines, they don't exist. They're created by people like us. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's us and the original. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, now to me, looking at that eye, that looks a bit smaller. It looks a bit shut.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back into Liquify again. Oops. Select the layer. Go back into Liquify again. And again, I'll zoom in. Okay, get my move tool, make it smaller. Now, when you're opening eyes with the Liquify tool, you've got to be careful you don't pull the pupil out of shape and end up with oval shaped eyes. So I'm just nudging that up to open it up a bit. Yeah, but then I've got to pull the eye to make sure that my eye is still round.
Yeah.
Right, so we do a show backdrop. Can you see?
Crikey, yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see now that looks like eyes are the same?
Yeah, pretty much equal.
Because that now I do that. If I switch back, can you see that eye looks really closed?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? And again, it's training yourself to see this stuff. That's half of it. It's it's not just knowing how to put it right. It's spotting it.
It's seeing it in the first
place. Yeah. Right, so I'm quite happy with that. There's stuff here we're going to sort out, and we'll put some eye makeup on. I'll show you how to do a bit of digital eye makeup. The lips I want to sort out. Most everything else I'm reasonably happy with. Alright, if we're going for there's loads of ways that you can soften skin, but one of the easiest ways, and people say, oh, no, that's a crap way of doing it, but it works, is duplicate the layer, turn that one off, click that one, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, or Gaussian blur, or whatever it is, not that much. and just blur it a little bit. Like that. Click OK. And turn that top layer back on. Yeah, are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Put a mask on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I get a black brush, because it's a white mask, I want my opacity about halfway. And then if I just go through there, that just lets some of that blurred layer show through.
Come through.
And it's just softening up. It's just softening up that. It makes a lot of difference for the sort of image. But I'm not going over the details. Otherwise I'll be blurring like the eyes and the nose and whatever.
Yeah, sticking salt to the skin.
Yeah, so I'm just doing the skin bits. Alright, so can you see, I've not lost all the detail. If I zoom in, there's still lots of detail there. But if I turn that on and off, hang on a minute, I have to just hide the mask, not turn it on and off. Can you see?
Yeah, cool.
If you look near the eye, look here, look. Yeah. See that texture?
Yes.
Yeah? Now, again, because that's on its own layer, if you think, oh, it's a bit too much, I can just reduce the... Sorry. I can... Oh, this is playing up because I've got that thing running. I can reduce the opacity of the mask.
Or worst case, bin it and start again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. So I can change the opacity somewhere. Don't know what's happening there. Okay, so there's your thing. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save that just in case it goes peculiar. Come on. Because I'll keep everything on an external hard drive, it has to spin up. If I just add a 1 in there. And desktop save. I should save that to the desktop. Right, so how are we doing? That's getting there now. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'll just sort of speed things up a little bit here, I think. So we've got that. And that underneath. I've got 2 copies there for some bizarre reason. I'll merge them 2 together. Okay, so we've still got just the 2 layers. So can you see that's progressing?
Yeah.
Still looks okay though. Now I'm not enlarging the eyes on this one. You know, like before we do enlarge the eyes by 5%.
5%, yeah.
But because that one's behind that hair, that would create an issue.
Yeah.
Alright, because it's part... You can do it, but you'd have to faff about a bit. And I want to get onto that other one as well. I don't want to be tied up with just doing this one. Alright, so you with me so far?
Yeah.
Right, okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to change the colour of eyes and the lips. Okay, and to do that we use an adjustment layer. Okay, which is there, that half and half circle.
Yeah.
Click on that, and what you want is a hue and saturation layer. Alright, and that puts, what was that there? Yeah. There's your hue and saturation layer, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so if I move this hue slider, it changes the colour of everything. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is not what we want. But when you set up any of these adjustment layers, they all come with a mask attached.
Yeah.
Right, so all you need to do is think, right, what colour do I want her eyes? I want her eyes to be a lot bluer. So what you can do, you can click this colour eyes button, right, and that will change everything to the same colour. So just slide that over to blue. right? Increase the intensity, increase the lightness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you see your eyes are now blue?
Yeah.
So is everything else.
Everything.
Don't worry about it. All you do is click on your mask, and then do Control I, and that will invert the mask, so it will hide everything. Yeah. So that blue is still behind there, but I've hidden it with a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Covered everything.
yeah. Now I want to cut little holes in that mask just to reveal the eyes bit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I get a brush. It's a black mask, so I want a white brush.
White.
Right, and then all I do is, if you're working on the eyes, zoom right in. You can put the opacity at 100 because we can reduce the opacity of the layer. Right, so I'm just going to reduce my brush size, and then all you do is you go around there. Don't worry, I know this looks ridiculous at the minute. Okay. Okay, so there's her blue eyes. Right, but to make them look sensible, it's on its own layer. Look, I can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Right, all you do is reduce the opacity.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, now if you look, they look alright, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I turn it on and off, look, I've changed them quite a lot.
I'm going to say it's that detail again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's subtle. But can you see how much more punchy your eyes look? Yeah, striking. That might be a little bit too much. Yeah, right? So we've done that. Now we're going to do the same with the lips. I'm going to change the colour of the lips.
Can I just jump back a sec?
Yeah.
So once you'd got onto, you've changed all the settings, what was it to invert it? Control I?
Control I, yeah, or Command I. If you're on are you on a Mac?
No, PC.
Right, so it's Control Command, isn't it? Yeah, I. Yeah. And that inverts the mask, and if you do it again, it will turn it back again. I think you can do the same by doing X as well, I think. Oh no, that does the colour. I don't know. No, that does your colour. That's right. Right, so we've done our eyes. Let's do our lips. So just repeat the process. Adjustment layer, hue and saturation. So I've got a hue and saturation layer again there, right? Yeah. And all I'm going to do is I'll do colorize again and just go like that to get a colour. Ooh, that's the wrong one, Alan. Let's say we want a redder. A redder lip. Okay, and then just Command I to invert it. Oops, hang on. Make sure you got the mask selected. And then you just want your brush with white paint, and we'll leave it 100%. Zoom in again. Alright, and just paint there. Paint the lips. Alright, if we zoom out now, we've got a bright red lips. Yeah?
Yeah.
And again, that's on its own layer. So we can reduce the opacity of the layer. So her original lip colour is now showing through a bit. Right, but if I put it up at 100%, because that's on its own layer, and because we've done it non-destructively, I can revisit either of these at any time I want.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, if I select, make sure you've not got the mask selected, you want this selected, right? Now I'm in there, I've got colour, I can change the lips to whatever colour I want.
Yes.
Yeah? So if you sort of think, oh, it's not the red I want it a bit more orange or whatever. Okay, or I want to boost the... Oh, that looks quite cool. Let's just reduce the... Leave that about 0. That looks quite nice.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that's showing through because of the mask again, isn't
yes,
it? So
yeah, you've just cut a little tiny... You can see a little white dotlet in the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just punched a little hole in it is all you've done.
Yeah.
Right, so now we've gone from that. There's our original. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only other thing I'll show you on that is to tidy these lips up. Okay, so we'll merge this stuff down just to keep it simple. Alright, so as our original. So can you see it's looking good? But you see, I've just noticed, you know, in that liquify thing, I pulled the jaw in a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, that's because if you look, I've now got a straighter edge there. And it just looks better.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But again, that's a sort of subconscious thing. It just looks better. Right, so lips. So there's lots of different ways. We'll do it with a clone tool. All right, so make a new layer. Because again, we try to work on new layers all the time, so as if we muff it up, we can change it. This thing up here below your brush is your clone tool.
Yeah.
Right, have you used clone tool?
I had a quick play this afternoon.
Right. What a clone tool does is you press Alt, or whatever the alternative, you get a little target that comes up there.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, so if I click in the middle of her eyeball, yeah, wherever I move that, it will copy that as a starting point. Right, so it doesn't just copy the pupil. As I move this off a pupil, it will move. So if I wanted to, I could make her into a cycle. You know, I can give her another eye up the top there. Let's put that up to 100%. All right. So can you see the little cross down here, look?
Yeah.
So it's copying whatever's under that cross.
Got you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll bin that. Make a new layer. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to zoom right in on ellipse, which I know are blurry, which we knew. All right, and then I'm going to get my clone tool. Now, can you see where it says sample all layers?
Yes.
We've only got one layer below it. But if you've got 2 or 3 layers there, but you only want to clone off of the layer below it, you can click on there and it'll say current layer only, or current and below, or all layers.
Layers.
Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you think, why is it copying that? You think it's copying it from 3 layers down or something. Right, so reduce the size of your clone tool. Okay, now this is going to work on the top lip a lot easier than the bottom lip. Right, I'm going to leave it at 100%, but sometimes if it gets awkward, I'll reduce the opacity a little bit, and it's a bit naughty really, but hey ho. Alright, so I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Right, so you press Alt, and what I'm doing is, can you see this bit of bleeding around the lips? This untidy edge. There's a bit of a smudge there. Right, what I'm going to do is put that right. So you press, I'm on my new layer. So you press sample, don't worry about that, that's off of my tablet. Press sample, right, as close as I can to that. And then, oh, so I need to make the brush a little bit smaller. Sample that, and then all I'm going to do is just go around the edge. Try, resample if you think the colour's changed.
Yeah.
So can you see that's really sharp? But can you see I've got a bit of a mark there? I can see it, you perhaps can't.
No, I can. It's almost like you've done it with a pen to get the defined line.
Yeah, so what I need to do is, if I reduce my opacity and then make my brush a little bit bigger and then redo that, I can then lose that edge a bit of my line. Yeah? So I can just do that, yeah? And copy a little bit from a bit further away into there. Yeah?
Yeah.
And do the same there. Okay, that bit there might be a bit trickier, but we'll have a look. It's a bit bigger. So all you're doing is you're thinking, that looks the same colour as there. Do you know what I mean? So I'll have that, and then you sort of think that's a bit darker in here. You've got a bit of shadow, so try that. Yeah, that's working. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now we've got, can you see the bottom lip's a mess, isn't it?
Looks like you put the makeup on.
Yeah, it does. It's been put on with a trail. Or for a joke. put my opacity back up. A weird white bit there, look. But can you see, is it on clone that out as well?
Yeah, that's clean walk, isn't it?
Right, can you see there's a bit of lippy missing there?
Yeah.
Right, so you just copy a bit of that gob into there, to use a technical term. So just click in there, somewhere, bit there, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just...
Right, can you see I copied a bit of that? Can you see where the arrow is?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I'm pointing at the fucking screen here.
The sort of shadow section where the lips meet.
Yeah, so I'll just do a couple of steps backwards to get rid of that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go from over this side, I think. Try it from about there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so if I now turn that on and off, look at the difference.
Yeah. Crikey.
So if you now zoom out, if you look at the difference. So can you see you're getting this magazine type perfection thing going on? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, and then
it's almost like the edge of the lipstick.
yeah.
Been put on
So the last thing I'll show you on that, all right, so can you see where we've got from that to that? There's a lot of difference, but there's not a lot of difference. Do you understand what I mean? It's sort of subtle, but major.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a lot more I'd do to that. All right, but I'll just show you this. I'll collapse that in again. I'll just show you this frequency separation. You might not be able to see it happening because it's quite subtle. What it is frequency separation. You know, like on a face, it's not, your face isn't pink. It's got grey bits, blue bits, brown bits, red bits, blotchy bits. Do you know what I mean? It's very uneven, and that's why women put foundation on. They put foundation on to cover that and even out the skin tones.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what frequency separation does, and it's a replacement really for that, you know, like where I made that blurred layer.
Yes.
It's instead of doing that to a degree, because what it does, it evens out the skin tones without altering the texture. So if there's a spot, it won't get rid of the spot, but it will even out the colours. Yeah?
Yeah.
And as I say, it's an action. All right, and I've got it in here somewhere. Frequency separation there. So if I click on that, so you click on your action, you press play.
Yeah.
Right, and it'll do stuff. You watch. It does stuff, continue. It says, in the following Gaussian blur dialog, choose a radius for the blur. All right, so what you do is you choose a radius where your image is blurred, but not ridiculously so. Click OK. It will carry on doing its thing, and then it says done. Now just select areas of the low frequency layer and use a Gaussian blur to smooth the skin. Okay, so can you see this group?
Yeah.
It's a group because it's got a little arrow and it's in a folder. If you click on the little arrow, it will open it. All right, so it says click on the low frequency tab, yeah?
Yeah.
And then use the selection tool and the Gaussian blur to blur it. Okay, so if we use this selection tool, okay, and I would add a little bit of feather to that, just like 10 pixels, just so as you haven't got a hard edge. And all you do is if you look at, I don't know if you'll be able to see this happen, but if I just drag and encapsulate, don't go over any funky bits, but encapsulate a sort of range of textures, a range of skin tones, and then if I do Command F, that will apply that blur, that frequency separation. Right, so I go Command F. Can you see that's evened that out? Did you see anything happen? Let me zoom right into a bit.
Just about.
Right, if I zoom right in here, let me see if I can find a bit. Right, can you see you've got a lot, like this is green and blue and brown and pink and white and whatever.
Yeah.
Right, if I do that bit, if I go in there like that, Actually, I'll have a bit more than that. If I go in there and get this bit round by the nose and come up here, right? Now, if you watch carefully, I'll do Command F. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's real subtle, but that's why it's good. Because it just evens out the skin tones without going mad at it. Alright, so all you do is you basically just go all over your image and just and it just softens up those tones. Well, that's what happens if you move it, so just press undo.
Yes, that was
it's right now. I've got the move arrow. I'll just press return. That should clear that. Yeah. All right. So you just literally go around like that, and just like here on the chin, that should level that all up a little bit. Just gets rid of all those. Yeah, I can see it happening. Might see it good there. Look, I'll do a little bit there. Yeah, it's quite subtle, but it makes quite a lot of difference. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you've gone from that to that to that. So
yeah.
There's your original. Yeah?
Yeah.
And again, if and I say we're thinking from the point of view of editorial, you've got the face there, you've got room up here for, so if I stick that there and put a new layer and just get some light blue, we'll get red. Okay, paintbrush. So you've got room up here for your title of your magazine. Then you've got room down here for like inside this week, we've got blah, blah, blah. And then you've got a bit here where you can have like a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a magazine cover sort of going on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah?
Very.
Right. So that's that one, really. And again, there's loads more you could do. As I say, is you could sort of think, right, well, what I'll do is I'll just drag around here like that and get a bit of blue. Make a new layer. Don't know if that's a new layer or not. Just fill that with blue. Select, deselect, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Whack a load of blur on it. Click OK. Change it. Oh, I'm ahead of the computer here. Change it to soft light. Reduce your opacity. Do you know what I mean? You can just mess with it, really. Yeah. Do whatever you like. I mean, what I do a lot, what looks quite cool, is let me just I don't know what I've got here and what I haven't got. What's original and what's not? That's me original. That's crap. I can go to the bin. I want that and that merging down. Yeah, so there's our original. That's where we got to. But what's quite good is in this filter. If you go to the blur gallery and use field blur, that will put that there. Up in the top right, take the blur down to 0. But then if I put a blur there, that just blurs that corner, blurs that corner, just blurs the top of the hair a bit and focuses your eye on her eye. Nice. Yeah, if you watch the bottom when it drops in, down here.
Yeah.
You watch that pop in blurred in a minute. Yeah? And again, it just pulls you, if I turn that, it just pulls your eye to the bit that's important.
That's in focus, like say.
Yeah, and again, I mean, another easy way to do that is if you got your thing with 250 thing on there, select inverse, we'll do that darker, click OK, get your bucket, select, deselect, change that to soft light, and then reduce the opacity. Again, that's just focusing you in on the model again.
Yeah, now that's the weird bit, because when I've tried that, change to the 250, as soon as I click on the image and let go, it shrinks, it goes to a smaller circle, but I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it will. Yeah, because it's showing you the feather. Yeah, it will. Look, if I let me zoom in, I've got 250 worth of feather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I drag a circle, when I let
Yeah.
go,
Ah, yes.
yeah, because it's saying it's feather. It's got a lot of
Yeah.
feather on it. It's got a lot of blurred edge. It's
I
supposed to
thought I
do
was
that.
I thought I was doing something. Like,
No, because if it's because it's got 250 of feather. If I put nothing feather, it won't do
Yeah.
it because there's no feather, so it'll stay exactly where I put it.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. All right.
Twat.
Twat. What's a twat? For everybody knew that. Right, so there you go. So that's all groovy, isn't it? Look, gone from that to that.
So that, yeah.
I mean, I don't like that actually. We'll get rid of that. Not for a cover type thing. But can you see it's quite subtle? I mean, the other thing is that I'd do is I mean, you can mess about for days with this stuff. We ain't going to get a lot on the other one done, but never mind. We'll finish it off next time. Right, so now I'm going to go in here with brushes and I'm going to turn the shapes dynamics back on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's back on. I've got a new layer, but can you see the mess that her eyelashes are in?
Yes.
So what you can do is I'll tidy those up to start with, but if you press R, you can rotate your canvas. Okay. Now
Just literally the R key, nothing else.
just pressing the R key.
Oh.
All right, and what I'm going to do is get my brush, 100%. I'm on a new layer. I've got my shape dynamics turned on, right, and I'm going to give her some more eyelashes. Right, so you need to reduce the size of your brush. Do a little test. Can you see that shape dynamics?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting like a thin line, and then if I press harder, I get a thicker line, and then if I let it go, I get a thinner line. Yeah.
He's up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's about right thickness, and all you do is just go in there. I tidy them up because they look like fucking spiders' feet. But you just literally just. But again, his eyelashes don't go. They don't go like that. Eyelashes clump together because of the mascara and crap. Do you know what I mean? So can you see these? Do you know what I mean? So it's don't just sort of, you know, and they're all different lengths. And, yeah. And again, he's down at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? We can just fill in these little gaps. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's virtually invisible. Yeah? I'll just get a paintbrush and rub them out. A rubber rather. Right, and then if I press R again, I can go back to the top, and if I turn that on and off, yeah? Yeah? And then just very quickly, the last thing I'll show you on here is just very quickly, I'll merge them in. You can do the same thing with eyebrows, by the way. A lot of girls have gaps in eyebrows. Not so much these days when they draw their own in anyway. But in the old days when they had real eyebrows, you just get gaps in them.
Yeah.
And you can fill them in, fill the gaps in. And like stray hairs, just get rid of those with a clone tool and whatever. I mean, there's a hair goes across the eye there. I'd get rid of that. What am I doing? Oh, makeup, wasn't it? Oh no, I was going to merge those layers. That's it. Right, new layer. Right, now this will look a mess, but it will come together. So let's say we want to give her a nice red makeup to match her eyes. So we'll do red and blue, I think. So we'll have some red there. Click OK. Make your brush bigger and softer. And all I'm going to do is a big old makeup usually follows a shape like that usually. Okay, don't worry, it looks an absolute freaking disaster. We'll sort of
worried about you not knowing so much about makeup.
No, well the thing is that you know it's useful if you do really. All right, so that's that bit. So now all I'm going to do is go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Alright. And we'll whack a load of blur on them. Like that. Click OK. And then we're going to put a mask on it. Reduce the size of our brush a little bit. Reduce the opacity. And then all I'm going to do is nibble in here. Whoops. That's white, I need black. And just pull some of that out. Make sure it's not on the eyes. Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing this really, really quickly. I mean, that looks a mess, but then if you whack it into soft light, yeah?
Yeah.
You get your makeup. And then you can make another.
Having makeup on, yeah.
Yeah, make another layer. We'll get some blue. Click OK. And we'll just put in a little edge of blue. We'll change that to soft light. Give it a bit of blur. Not that much. Click OK. And then we better have a bit of dark underneath. So we'll have a little bit of black. Yeah, I'm good at makeup. I'm the boy. There you go, and we'll have another layer there, and I'll just put a little thin line of again, as if I was doing this for real, I'd take a lot longer. Can you hear me? That's done that again. I'll wait in a minute.
Battery 60%. Connected to Gaze iMac.
Are you there?
Yep.
Can you see my screen?
No, I'm on you at the minute.
Alright, hang on a minute. I just need to share it wherever it has gone. Oh, why is that not?
Looking for it on my screen.
I can't see share screen.
It was it on tools?
Oh yeah, there we are.
No, view.
Yeah?
That's it.
Right. I don't know why it does that. It did it last time, didn't it? Whether it
Yes.
by default it switches off after a period of time or something, I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. So where do we get to? Yeah, there's me eye makeup, like rough as hell, but there we go. We'll just turn that to soft light, and again that will just give me some dark eye makeup. So if you turn that off, that's that, that's that, that's that, that's that. Right, so if I turn all of them on at once, you get that. And then if we zoom out, yeah?
Yeah.
And again, they're all on their own layer, so if you think, oh, that red's a bit much, we can just reduce the opacity of it so it doesn't show us. That's better. Yeah?
Yeah.
quality makeup. So we've gone from that to that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's same again, all on the different layers. You
Yeah.
can either adjust or bin.
Well,
and
the thing,
stuff,
that's it. Yeah, you can think, no, I don't like that's too much. Like if that black, you're sort of thinking that's too much. You can just reduce the opacity of it so it's a bit more subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. Let me just save that, and then we'll have a quick look at that other one. I'll save that in a minute. Right. With this one, I wasn't going to do a lot, but I was just going to show you, because that's like a backlit photograph and it looks fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but I could do with a bit more light in the front here. All right.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is add a bit of haze and stuff. I'd lighten this up as well, but we won't worry about that for now. I'll just show you very quickly on this, and then yeah, and then we'll look at, I'll find, we've covered more than I thought we were going to, so I'll find something else for us to do for next time. Right, so if we look at that as an image, composition wise, I don't mind it. I know this branch going through the top here looks a bit iffy, but I don't mind it because it sort of almost acts like a little frame at the top. Not sure about that little bit of light, alright, but we can soon lose that just by making a new layer, using our new skills with the clone tool. Alright, and just select that and just fill it in. Whoops. Just with a bit of tree. Yeah?
Yeah.
Got rid of that. Right, so let me just I'll call that original. Alright, and that one's to go below that. I'll turn that one off and I'll merge that in there. So we've now merged that to that. Alright, so that's mended that little problem. Do you remember? Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
Right.
Something rubbish there.
Do you remember our rule of thirds?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you look, that's applying quite nicely there, isn't it? Yeah. Her face is on the third. Right, so we can get rid of that. Right, so we've duplicated the layer. I'll show you this. It's real quick. If I want to lighten this up, again, it's just, I think people overcomplicate it, and you don't need to. Right, if we're saying this is our layer we've got now, if I just duplicate that layer, so I've now got two of them. Right, if I just turn turn that one off and select that one. All right.
Yeah.
Now if I'd go non-destructive. All right, but if I just go no, we'll do it at the exposure, see if that'll do it, because that's how you do it in a camera. I'm just looking at this and maybe this, not this, not this, not that, just this and this, the dark bits. So if I just push up the exposure a little bit, right, can you see I've now got some detail in here and in here. There'd be no detail there because that's blown out. If you looked at the histogram, which isn't there at the minute, you'd see that there's no digital. We went through that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, so if I turn that on and off, can you see we pulled out some detail in there? All right, and then there's our original layer. Right, actually, I can do this even easier than I thought I could. All right, if I select the mask and click Command I and invert it, I can now just rub through that mask with white paint to reveal what we've been doing. Our new exposure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whoops, get a brush, make it bigger. Right, we'll reduce the opacity down. Right, and if I just go over that, let me turn me shape dynamics off. Okay. Oh, just finished? That might have just finished.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's took about 2 hours.
Oh, you sod.
I hope the fucking thing's there now.
If it's took 2 hours, definitely.
There it is. Right, hang on a minute, I just need to save this.
Yeah.
I'll be in a minute. Victoria, fucking second render, we'll call that. Yeah, I'm just testing it, you see. I'm just doing what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Just trying stuff out.
Yeah.
Second render. Save. Get in. Right, that's all right. That's save. Fucking hell, that's took forever. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go. Right, so if I turn that on and off now, look, magic, isn't it? It's like magic.
Yeah.
But can you see
Yeah.
how simple that is?
Yeah.
All right. Now, do you remember last week when I said to you, there's about 10 things to get your head round?
Yeah.
And once you know those 10 things, you can pretty much do everything. And this is
Yeah.
one of those things. Again, as you'll find, is that we're doing the same thing over and over again. It's a mask, and I'm cutting through
Yeah.
the mask. You know, so I'm
show.
duplicating the layer, getting the bit that I want to change to be how I want it, and I'm not worrying about what's happening anywhere else, but then I'm masking it and cutting through to that. And the good thing about that
piece that you need.
is that when I've done that, it's on its own layer, so I can reduce the effect of it. Look,
Yeah.
I can turn it up and down and on and off. And the thing is, it's non-destructive, so I can click on that again, and I can go in there. And can you see it only changes it where I've
I've
done it.
To bleed through
Yeah.
or show through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have we done? I don't know what I've done. Why does it stop working? Oh, I turned it right down. Yeah, so can you see I can
Yeah.
get it to where I want it? So I've got some nice detail down here now. I've got some nice detail in there. Because before, that was just a big black block, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And now it's a bit more interesting. Okay, so that's all good. I don't need that copy. I've kind of complicated the issue. So can you see how simple that was?
Yeah.
And say like people like faff about with filters and this, that, and the other. And the trouble is, they're all right, but two things wrong with them: A, they slow everything down, and B, they cost money. Do you know what I mean? And you don't need it. And if you do it this way, I just think you better. It's me doing it rather than somebody else's program doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's me in control. So I'll merge that down. I'm happy with that. So we've gone from that to that. All right. So can you see how much brighter that looks anyway?
Yeah.
Right. So what I want to do now is our light's coming through from here, isn't it? And hitting her hair there. Yeah? Right. So what I want to do is I want to get a feeling of light on this side of the image.
Yes.
Right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get that, and I'm just going to draw around there like that. Get a bucket, and then I'm going to press Alt. If you press Alt, your whatever you've got will turn into an eyedropper tool, and you can pick a colour. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick a nice bright yellow that's in the scene. Okay. If you use colours that are in the scene, you know it's going to fit. All right. Now get my paint bucket tool and fill that shape, and then select, deselect. Then I need to blur it up. So stick a load of Gaussian blur on it. Like that. Select OK. And again is then I'll just look at a couple of overlays. A couple of so I look at overlay, look at soft light. I like soft light better, and then just reduce the opacity. Can you see now it just introduces a little bit of yellow.
Yeah.
Well, that lemony, I mean, it's turning it right down, so it's very subtle. All right, and then what I can do is make another layer. Then if I get that ellipse tool, drag an ellipse there, get my bucket tool, and then this time what I'm going to do is get very nearly white, click OK, fill that, select, deselect. Alright, get my move thing, I can move that to where I want it. Yeah?
Yeah.
So again, I'm just adding, overlay doesn't work. Right, so I'm just adding, let's just drag that over a little bit. So I'm going to make that bigger. Like that.
Control T
Yeah.
to transform.
That's it, yeah. Alright, so we've got that first. Then we've got a hot spot in the background. And then if we want, we could even... You see this bokeh?
Yeah.
Right, make a new layer. Oh, I'm giving all my best secrets away here, you know. Shocking. All you do is get your brush, put your shape dynamics back on, get your tool, your thing, and then just
creating your own.
yeah. Then again, you can go in there and get white. Push the opacity up a bit. Alright, now don't worry that they're a bit visible. Again, his bokeh blobs often overlap. Alright, and then again, if I close that down, because it's on its own layer, I can reduce the opacity of them. Yeah? So they fit in better. Maybe even try a blend mode. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's working. And then what we can do is we can put another layer in. And we'll pull in a little circle. Like that. And then we'll get the paint bucket tool and we'll fill that. Select. Hang on a minute, I don't like that. Edit, undo paint bucket. Let me get a. That's better. We'll fill that again. If you fill it twice, it just gets thicker.
Just a deeper.
Yeah. Select, deselect. Get your move tool. Just move that over here. Reduce your opacity down. So can you see now we've got this sort of haze going on of stuff. So we've gone from that to that.
Yeah.
In half a dozen moves. Most of it's just fanning about with this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just that to green it up. So that's just general greenering. And then we're starting to build up that sort of hot spot in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, if I was doing it for real, I'd spend more time on it and you know, just go a bit more careful with it. And again, this is what we might do: is we might just get a brush with some dark green on. Make your brush bigger. Just poke a bit of brush through there, like that, and change the blending mode to soft light. And again, it just adds a darkness down there. Do you know what I mean? So it's all about like building balance into the picture. So I mean here I might just darken that down a little bit. So again, is use the colour that's in the image,
And that's Control I, you see. Once
Yeah.
you've got your,
No, for the dipper, it's just Alt.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, press Alt and it will turn into a colour picker. That's a bit too much. So I've just darkened that back down a little bit in that corner.
Yeah. Yeah, give the impression of the sunlight coming through and your.
And then if I select all of those now and I'll merge them down, merge layers, all right, we went from that to that, yeah, and then as I say, there's a final thing. If you wanted to make it more romantic-y, you can go blur to the blur gallery, go to the field blur thing again, move that up onto a face because we don't want that blurred, pull the blur back, put that down there, and we'll crank that up, let that go really blurry. We'll put one there, blur that right up. We'll have one at the back, just blurring the edge of the hair. We'll have one in here, blurring the edge of the hair there. When that drops in. I think that rendering has filled all my buffers up or something. Because it normally, can you see? So this is all blurred down here now. Let me get the pointy tool. That's all blurred down there. Whoops. That's all blurred up here, but this is sharp still.
Nice and sharp around the face, yeah.
So can you see that's quite a nice photo? If somebody said, "Oh, you go, oh, that's lovely," but can you see that's just got way more? Again, I've probably gone over the top with it just for, you know, demonstration purposes.
Yeah.
But you know,
gives you a good feel of what's achievable.
This is there's too much green in here, and it's a bit too light. I'd darken that back down a bit.
Yeah.
But because you've got the original behind it, even though I've merged everything, or the original's on top, I can still just reduce, I can still use that original to tint everything. Do you know what I mean? So I can still kill it off a bit by using the original.
Yeah.
Yeah? So that's a little bit better. Still a bit green in here.
Now, you won't, you know, you merge them all. Can you unmerge if you wanted to alter one of the things? Or is
no. Not only by doing sort of going back in the history, but your history is usually by default, I think it's set to like 20 steps.
Yeah.
So, no. But
I think for me, being an idiot, I wouldn't merge anything.
I mean, the only trouble with that is that if you don't merge things, so if you end up, I mean, I've done Photoshop things where I've had 50 layers. And the trouble is, if you don't merge them and you save it as as a Photoshop file, it's fucking humongous. Right. It's like 3 gig. Yeah, it's massive. Do you know what I mean? So once you're happy, then merge layers.
Merge it down. Yeah,
merge it once you're happy. Sometimes you have to merge them because you need to do the next step. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. So can you see that's well, I can't show you now because I've used the thing. So yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's that one. And then that one.
Yeah, wicked.
All good?
Yeah.
Let me just turn the thing off. Turn the oops, I've got hiccups now.